Good afternoon and welcome to the Omni Coalition News Show, also known as TOCNS, TOCNS. This show is an amalgam of strange, weird, bizarre, off-the-wall, and otherwise things you don't normally see anymore from most news sources these days. During a time of political overabundance and divisiveness, we present you with more unifying topics to discuss, for the most part. For links to those articles, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar in the description below. Anyway, I am Aoxander, and today I am joined by... if Buddha wants to introduce himself.
Yes, please call me MTM. It's my new handle that I'm going by.
MTM, alright. If you don't mind changing your username so I don't get confused, I am a stoner.
Absolutely, let me do that right now.
Thank you, good sir. And I'm joined by the one only Speedweed. Anyway, today is Freya's Day, also known as Friday, November 4th, 2022. So we are going to jump right on into the news today from Rebel News. 3 peaceful protesting truckers face 10 years in jail and need our help. Oh God, here we go. So let's see here. Scrolling. While the Trucker Commission of Inquiry is underway in Ottawa, 3 peaceful trucker convoy protesters are on trial in Lethbridge, Alberta. Like Tamara Lynch, they are 100% nonviolent. They're upstanding local citizens. One of them, Marco von Hugenbos, is a popular elected member of his town council. However, before they dared to embarrass the government over the lockdowns and vaccine mandates, they've been targeted with a vengeful fury. Then out-of-control prosecutor Stephen Johnson is seeking a 10-year prison term for these men for a peaceful political protest. And of course, as always, there's more here to read, so I would like the viewers to, give web traffic to the source. But yeah, like what say you on this, MTM? Like this is obscene.
Yeah, it's Rebel News often covers stories like this that are very
Canadian, because they're Canadian.
Canadian, but also like covered up by various other things. There's a lot of traffic going on in the world, of course, but
well, I need more sources, to be honest.
It is being called a miscarriage of justice to be continued.
Yeah.
And to keep pressing the news premiere to drop leftover vendettas from Jason Kenney's era. But if that doesn't work, they'll do a crowd-funded Chad and Yoav. This is like.
Are you reading something, or is this?
Yes, I'm reading from the second to third.
Oh.
Bottom paragraph.
Oh, okay. Where is it?
Yes, hopefully the government's war on truckers would end. This has actually been causing a bit of inflation, and people are starting to argue whether or not, these people in power are really in charge of our inflation, and whether they can do to help.
Is this from the same source here?
No, I'm not. I'm not reading anything. I'm just speculating that.
Oh.
It'd be wonderful if this miscarriage of justice didn't continue, because it's expected that inflation would even continue for the next 3 years with things and trends going the way they are.
Yeah, well, right now, especially with truckers, it scares the hell out of me. We have just over 20 days of a surplus of diesel fuel.
Yeah.
And when that runs out, everything stops. Everything. I was talking with Ramaser last night. He was like, blah, blah, blah. If you had an electric car, you'll be fine. I'm like, well, how does the power plant get its materials? He's just like, oh, fuck. And yeah, without diesel, no trains run, no trucks, power plants can't run. So everything is done. It's, no, not good. And we're doing this to these truckers, on top of that, truckers are just really just getting the shaft hard everywhere. So,
oh, yes. Well, diesel fuel was already the most expensive, pre this era. So to see it even go up further is probably, terrible to them too, right? It's taking money out of their paycheck.
Dude, I remember when diesel was laughably cheap. Mm. It was like, gas was $5 a gallon and diesel fuel was like $2. It's like, what? I should get a diesel car.
And you would hear all these wild stories about people going, oh, well, diesel is cheaper, so I'll just put that in my car, and then their car doesn't run properly.
Yeah, well, no, you can't mix the fuel like that, no. But
yeah.
But no, there was a boom in people, going out and buying diesel-powered vehicles because diesel was so cheap, and now it's,
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, Gleich, however you pronounce your name, not sure if you heard any of this past article. If you did, what is your insight? You there? Okay, I don't think he's there. So anyway, let's move on up here. More from Rebel News.
Our next story, yes.
Will there be a Ford in our future? The Emergencies Act inquiry, not if Doug gets his way. whatever this means. So that's just a concerning title right there. As the Emergencies Act inquiry in Ottawa soldiers on, there is a bizarre sidebar story playing out. Namely, Ontario Premier Doug Ford. Okay, so this is not the Ford car. This is just some guy. So never mind. I'm gonna move on up to the next story because I don't care about Canadian politics. More from Rebel News. Dahmer creator slams Netflix for caving to criticism over the LGBTQ tag. You remember that when they got all pissy about that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. The co-creator of Netflix's Dahmer, Ryan Murphy, slammed the streaming service for caving into criticism over the show. Following the show's release in September, Netflix, which originally added on LB alphabet tagged a Dahmer monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, removed it after numerous people complained to accuse the network of homophobia. Well, he was gay, right? You know, I mean, like,
Yes.
it's not a gay show, but I mean, you know, it's not, you know, to take a page out of Batman. It's not the representation they wanted. It's the representation they deserved.
Exactly.
I guess not to.
Well,
Yeah.
it's very interesting that they would even. I think Netflix would even go on to make this content. There's a funny meme of Charlie from Always Sunny in Charlie he's from Always Philadelphia talking to Mac, I believe, and he's saying, "I'm playing both sides. That way, I always come out on top." And then the caption is like, "Netflix be like."
Oh yeah, I've
And
seen that one.
They really are like they make content like this and Cuties, but they're willing to put things on their network like Inside Job and the Epstein documentary. And
It
Inside
is-
Job is a animated series, for those of you who don't know, that completely parodies the deep state and Illuminati and conspiracy theory.
You got to remind me to go check that out. It is appalling that Cuties is still on that thing. Like,
Yeah.
why? Ugh.
So I think the problem here people are having is of the sort of the gay romanticism that Dahmer had towards some victims, and during the telling of his true story. Right?
I don't know much of the story other than he
Well,
killed 8 people.
from what I've seen, the story is actually quite fairly accurate to the truth. I mean, a lot of the stuff has come out in the past 20, 40 years since Dahmer was killed in prison. So it's
Yeah.
very easy to get the details correct. However, people are not seemingly comfortable with that detail in the way that Netflix has perceived
Yeah.
it.
It's still a funny instance in history, very memeable.
Yeah.
So, let's move on up here. More from
Absolutely,
Rebel
moving
News. Jimmy Kimmel says attacking Trump and conservatives every night cost him half his viewership. Yeah, no
Ah.
shit, Sherlock.
What a surprise.
Fucking idiot.
Imagine my shock.
Yeah.
As Paul Joseph Watson would say.
Right here, get woke, go broke. The saying remains true as late night show host Jimmy Kimmel admitted in a podcast this week that he lost half his audience for bashing former President Donald Trump every day on his nightly show, or I guess every night. Kimmel, who admits he had made a conscious decision to bash the former president, told the Naked Lunch podcast host Phil Rosenthal that he felt he had the duty to attack the Orange Man on constant, near endless bases. Well, you know, like what's the term? Beating a dead horse. Like, you know, eventually, like,
Yeah.
no matter how funny a joke is, you know, like, you can't say it over and over and over again before, you know, eventually you'll stop being funny. Like, you gotta come up with fresh material, man. That's your business, Jimmy Kimmel. You fail. So
Emperor Lemon did he's a former YouTube pooper, if anyone remembers that term. It's a video editor who likes to make funny
YouTube poop. Yeah, I know about those.
yeah YouTube content, right?
Yeah.
Via the skill of editing. And currently he's actually switched his audience and his reach to making video essays. And he made a really great video essay about how Jimmy Kimmel tries to be this family-friendly show and be politically funny at the same time. And it's completely ridiculous.
It's not working.
And he's also like a complete and total hypocrite because the content he was making on The Man Show, right before political correctness came into public view, was not politically correct at all.
Didn't Jimmy Kimmel used to do blackface a lot too?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
And
heard
the
that
whole
after
the
like the
bits
whole
with
incident.
Andy Milonakis too, yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that after the whole incident. You know, I was watching Salty Cracker. You know, or something like, but like the whole incident when he like just like laid on the stage. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just like what is he doing? So
Yeah, some people would even consider those bits with Andy Milonakis to be implorable and in such bad faith because at the time, Andy Milonakis has a what do you call that? A genetic um, birth defect that gives him this sort of I don't want to Benjamin Button quality, I guess we could call it for the sake of time here. So I want to move on to the next story,
yeah.
but
Well,
he
as
appears
long
to
as
be
you're
much
not being
younger than he
hateful,
actually is.
as
But
long as
yeah,
you're not being hateful, be
absolutely.
descriptive. You're not doing
He
something to be,
he he appears to be much younger than he actually is. His body did not
What's
properly go
his
through
name?
puberty. Andy Andy Milonakis MIL. Yeah, there he
Let's
is.
see.
He actually had a show on
Oh,
MTV for a while. Yeah,
okay.
and he's a famous rapper and comedian who has this um, genetic problem, I
He's
guess.
46 years.
Yeah. So when he
Uh,
was younger, he was doing bits with Jimmy Kimmel where he would, pretend to be this kid that would say like dirty things and trick people into
uh,
doing things on like,
so
camera.
Jimmy Kimmel was taking advantage of, well, I mean, that's show business.
He was contracted, so I think he was
Yeah.
old enough to take contract, but
Yeah, well, anyway, let's move on.
no,
Like,
very
let's
bizarre.
like
Let's move on.
not spend so much time on every article here. I'm trying to
Absolutely.
keep this under an hour. More from Rebel News. North Carolina GOP candidate's home shot at while his children were inside. This is awful. He was shot at. You're like, as the mainstream media bombards the airwaves with endless condemnation of political violence following the home invasion of Nancy Pelosi's house, the media, which that is its own thing, oh my god, the media has failed to cast anywhere as much of a spotlight on the attack on the family home of North Carolina's Grand Old Party candidate Pat Harrigan. The North Carolina family home of Pat Harrigan, a veteran of Green Beret, was shot at. News of the shooting broke on Thursday afternoon after the family disclosed the incident in an interview with Associated Press. Harrigan's campaign told the press his children were inside the home when the shooting happened, and one of the bullets hit the home a few feet from where his children were sleeping. Good God. This is what I was talking to Speedweed about earlier before the show. Like, this stuff is just happening. Like to of course to politicians and everything, but it's happening to people all over the place. Just random acts of violence. What's not being reported on by the leftist media covering over leftist actions.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like what? Do you have anything else to add to that?
Oh no, I mean it's just absolutely tragic, right? That
Yeah.
the media projects propaganda, doesn't cover this stuff, and then people go on to make the same mistakes because they don't learn from others, right?
Yeah. Just nuts. But anyway, let's move on here from Oddity Central. Indonesia's Playboy King has been married 87 times to 46 different women. What the hell? It's 61 years old.
I find this interesting.
Jesus. 61-year-old farmer from Indonesia has been dubbed the country's Playboy King after it was revealed that he plans to marry for an 88th time. Well, what woman is dumb enough to get into that? Khan, a rice farmer from West Java in Indonesia, is with a very interesting story. He claims to have been married a total of 87 times during his lifetime, and that he is getting ready for his 88th wedding with one of his ex-wives.
Oh, well, yeah, look at that. They always do come back, don't they?
Wow. Like boomerangs, man.
Yeah, yeah.
The Playboy King, as Indonesian newsman dubbed Khan, rose to fame after telling his story to a YouTuber whose video quickly went viral, attracting the attention of several news outlets who tracked the man down and visited his home in Chepinwindi village. Although he originally refused to give any more interviews, the constant visits of news reporters eventually changed his mind. So yeah, of course, as I said before, for further reading, please go to the articles. Links are in the underbar. Give those sources the foot traffic, please. But this is insane. Like,
How's that village pronounced? Sipwendue, maybe? It's Indonesian.
Sepwendue?
Swepwendue, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the language that is.
So.
But, well.
Yeah, so, I don't have any more words. Like. Okay.
I don't know if I do either.
Yeah, well, let's just move on up here,
We should
then.
move on, yeah.
Man collects lottery prize in disguise to protect identity from wives and kids. From wife and kids, not wives. I'm
does
still
that
on
work?
this
Let's
other
find
guy.
out.
A Chinese man recently made international news headlines for collecting his lottery winnings in disguise in order to keep his identity a secret from his own family. That's not good. Identified only by the pseudonym Li, the Chinese man reportedly bought 40 lottery tickets from somewhere in China's Guangxi Zhuang autonomous regions, with all of them containing the same 7 numbers. The gamble paid off big time, and he was able to pocket a whopping 220 million yuan, or 5.48 million yuan per ticket. That's around 30 million US dollars. Wow.
Wow.
Life-changing money, not just for him, but for his entire family. But instead of celebrating the win with his wife and kids, Lee reportedly played it cool, performing to keep the good news as a secret from them. Probably because his wife was going to beat his ass for the amount of money he spent on those tickets. Like...
Oh, yeah. It would be hard to, like, imagine the payoff for that.
It's
right?
It's like, why are you mad? We have $30 million. Well, what if you gamble it again, you stupid man?
That's what everyone is saying, yeah, is the lottery is a sucker's game. Because if you win, you want to go back and gamble for more.
It is. It really is.
And people don't know how to quit when they're ahead, right? And sometimes the cost of the tickets expands that. But what, 40 tickets by 30 million? I'd have to do that math, but...
Yeah. So like, they got 5...
Oh, no, he said...
Go ahead.
Pocket 220 million, okay.
Yeah. 220 million yuan in total.
But I wonder how much those tickets actually cost him going, and also you'd have to account for the travel time if he's going to different locations to buy 40 different tickets, right? Probably stores.
I don't know. It said it bought tickets from somewhere in China's whatever autonomous region here.
Yeah.
Maybe he could have gone to different stores in that one region, but I think he probably just like cashed all out on one hit.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
I don't know. That's going to require more, research that we don't have time for on the show.
Count the numbers on that one.
But I challenge the viewers, as I do, usually in This Date in History, TDH, our weekday history show every day at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. I challenge them every now and then, with researching things. So the first challenge of TOCNS, more information on this, please. Answer the questions we have, if you don't mind. That'd be swell. Anyway,
how much would he have to pay for those tickets?
How much did he pay for those tickets? So he paid, he bought 40 of them. So let's move on up here. More from Oddity Central. The mind-blowingly realistic oil paintings of Fabiano Milani. Brazilian artist Fabiano Milani specializes in hyper-realistic oil paintings that look almost indistinguishable from high-definition photos. We featured quite a number of extremely talented hyper-realist artists on Oddity Central over the past 15 years, but there is no doubt that Fabiano Milani is right up there with the best of them. The Sao Paulo-born artist, who was raised in the Rio Grande do Sul, has become famous for his oil paintings that imitate real life so well that they are often mistaken for photographs. It's actually hard to believe that he only started at making art professionally at the age of 18 after taking an artistic course. Today he is regarded as a remarkable figure of the hyper-realist painting community. Look at this.
Yeah, that's amazing use of color and hyper-realism in the liquid. You see the sheen and the light that glimmers across your face. If you scroll down to the second half of the page, you can actually, on his Instagram reel there, you can see the process, actually, if you scroll through those.
I see.
And you can see the way he lays down the sort of color first to the oil.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very fascinating.
He really does like putting honey on women's faces.
Yeah, it seems to be a trend.
Yeah, that's kind of concerning, honestly. Oh, here we go. Something
Oh, there's
different.
a guy, yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. God damn it, again with the honey.
He has, one guy just had shock on his face, yeah, right?
Why is she making that face? This guy has a problem. I don't know. Here we go again with the Indian guy. But that's amazing. I remember the bug things. Oh, the glass. I reported on this a while ago. The glass art, glass bugs. I mean, scorpions, octopus, slugs, snails, praying mantis, ants.
Wow, those are really well done.
Yeah, I would not want any one of them in my house. They'll just become glass particles. Smash. So, but yeah. Let's see here. Moving on up here. More from Oddity Central. Company specializes in harvesting and preserving people's tattoos after their death. What? Cleveland-based company Save My Ink Forever offers people the opportunity to have their tattoos preserved as artworks after they pass away. Okay. Now we're cutting people apart. Third-generation mortician Michael Sherwood and his son Kyle, of course Kyle, came up with the idea for Save My Ink Forever a few years back while having a few drinks with some friends. Of course, Kyle with drinks. And
Yeah, over drinks.
everything is becoming a stereotype here. One of them said that he would like his ink preserved somehow and asked the Sherwoods how he should go about doing that. They laughed at the question at first, but their buddy pushed the issue, and it got the two morticians thinking. And they're morticians, wonderful. Tattoos mean a lot to people who have had them inked on their body as well as to their families, so it made sense that some of them would like them preserved. After devising a technique for removing and preserving tattoos, the Sherwoods founded Save My Ink Forever and started taking orders. And here we have some examples of actual human skin. Wonderful. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about
man.
this.
I have a thought already. Wow. Which is that I can't imagine what this is going to do for the laser removal industry. If this takes off and people are willing to just preserve their tattoos.
Bro, now I'm just imagining somebody like preserving the Rock Johnson's husk.
Oh yeah.
Just here's Dwayne's skin. What? Oh my god. Yeah.
Or like those guys who have the circus freaks that have like 90% of their body tattooed.
Yes. Like I had a friend who had a lot of ink on his body. You know, stuff like that. I've had several friends with ink. But yeah. So that's this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
I have a friend in the tattoo game actually. I don't want to say his handle on here, but he's he does a lot of work on himself and he does work on other people. He's been doing it for quite some time. People get very passionate about these things, right? They find really big significance and meaning in the art. So this could be a good thing. This could be, but it's also very bizarre. It's very, you know, kind of like the skin. People, it's like this.
Well, meanwhile, there's me. I'm as pure as the day I was born. No piercings, no penetrations,
no
ink, no nothing. Like, so yeah. Anyway, let's move on up here from the Mirror. Madonna's fans beg her to stop making weird reels as she dons silver teeth in odd clip. Even her fans are getting tired of her. Come on, like, stop. Madonna, you're done. You're done, girl. Come on. It says here, the Queen of Pop at the age of 64 furiously mouthed the lyrics to the track "Vent" by Baby Keem. One fan asked what happened to her, while another fan begged her to stop posting these weird reels. The singer lip-synced, "Have you ever been punched in your mother effing face? What you say? Oh, you haven't? Alright, wait. What the hell?" I don't
think
understand.
The reel's gonna roll for me.
She is trying so hard to stay relevant. It's kind of sad.
Oh my god, that's her now. Goodness.
Where? Wait, is that her? No way.
Yeah, apparently this is her.
Oh god. Madonna, why? She looks like if Greta Thunberg and Hermione Granger had a child. Good lord, man. Ugh. That's sad.
If you scroll down, there's a picture of her when she was younger, and it says her lifelong fans said they don't recognize.
Oh my
this
god, dude! Wow.
If you scroll down lower than that, actually, there's another.
Yeah. Madonna, what have you done to yourself? My god. Hollywood, dude. Hollywood, not good. It gets it poisoned.
Amen, brother.
Yeah. Moving on up here, more from the Mirror. Family in Dunkirk migrant camp trying to reach UK fear they'll be killed if sent home. What? Okay. 6-month-old Lawin and his 2-year-old brother Lawi have already endured more in their short lives than many would in a lifetime. Huddling up to his mom Helen at the age of 20 inside a tent in the bitter cold on the outskirts of Dunkirk in northern France, little Lawin does not know what treacherous journey awaits him yet. Along with dad Saiwan at the age of 22, the family arrived just 4 days ago from Iran and dream of reaching the UK to live freely. They are part of a wider group of Kurds forced to flee their homeland after protesting against the killing of 22-year-old Kurd Mahsa Amini. She was arrested by morality police for allegedly wearing a hijab too loosely and died in police custody on September 16th. She was reportedly beaten with a baton. Wow. This is awful. And I saw something else from the actual website before clicking on this. they're saying something about like we're not invading or something like, but this is horrible. Um, like like because on one hand, like yeah, it can be said like like a lot of these refugees and such, they're just fleeing because they don't want to stand up for anything, and they're just going from one fair weather to another. But some people really do have it shit like this, and this is awful, and I can't even imagine like you're living in a tent in the rain with a child. Like this is homeless. Like not beyond homeless. This is countryless. Like so I really hope that that something good happens to these people. For once. So
Tiny house initiative, maybe.
what?
Maybe if they could find the land for it, they could start a tiny house initiative. But
Yeah.
it takes a lot of planning
And this isn't even really like this is a problem, but it is not a problem. It is a result of a bigger problem.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
So, but let's move on here. Okay, this one's weird. More from the Mirror. Dad of toddler who died after choking on grape reverses car into wife with baby in back. What? That's awful. The dad of a boy who choked to death on a grape reversed his car into his wife while his baby daughter was in the back seat. David Jenkins, at the age of 38, knocked his spouse to the ground after refusing to hand his daughter over following an argument. Okay, so this is... I don't want to read more of this. This is very, very bad, but... domestic abuse and stuff. I just wonder why they bring up the fact that his child died of grape,
Well, I'm a little confused by the wording of that title there, because it says dad of toddler who died after choking on grape. So was he in the car and they were in the car with him as well, and he just happened to choke on a grape and then go into shock and then back up and then that?
Well, no, it looks here. So yeah, like he knocked his spouse to the ground. Then he raced off with the door of his car open with his child crying in the back seat. So, so he's alive. His wife's alive. One of the children's alive. So maybe this guy made news a while ago because another child of his died choking on a grape, and they're utilizing the previous article as a hanger to be like, hey, remember that guy? Look what's happening now.
Yeah, it could be. Okay. I was a little bit confused by that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's why I clicked on this. I was just like, what the hell is going on here? But this is a case of domestic disputes, as well as assault and battery, child kidnapping, and endangerment. So yeah, as I said, I don't really want to read too much more into this because it's really, really bad. But of course, the link is in the underbar, the description, if anybody would like to go check it out themselves. Anyway, moving on up into UPI, world's largest bread mosaic created in Mexico. Look at that thing. It's all bread.
With paint on it, I suppose. For the
no, like different types of bread.
Oh, different, yeah.
Like those little round, like sweetbreads that you get at the quickie stores.
Mm-hmm.
The Mexican breads and the sweetbreads. It is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I see that now.
It's a bunch of they come in a bunch of different colors, and they're all round. So I think that's what those are.
You can if you go to the Instagram post, you can see a closer picture if you click on it there.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
If you click the little arrow to the right there.
Okay. Oh yes, called it. Yeah, it's those breads. So, yeah. Let's read here. Bakers in Mexico teamed up to create 20,689 loaves of bread and assemble them in the world's largest bread mosaic, measuring 2,222 square feet. Guinness World Records said a team of 5 bakers in Municipio de Zacatlan in Puebla worked together to break the record for the world's largest bread mosaic for Dia de los Muertos, the Mexican Day of the Dead. The mosaic was an image of La Catrina, a traditional skeleton figure associated with the holiday. So, that's cool.
Wow, Guinness said it took bakers 2 weeks to bake all the bread involved.
Dang.
For this record. Wow.
Yeah, I was leaving that little bit, for there's nothing much left here to read, but yeah. 2 weeks though. So yeah, so a lot of that's going to be stale. Unfortunately, that's not good. Probably have mice living in it. You know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be extra when they go to feed the birds with it.
Yeah. And then
Alrighty.
here, last from UPI, Iowa man claps 1,142 times in 1 minute for world record. How is
Wow.
that physically possible? Like, you know, how do you do that? Like, Dayton Meyer, at the age of 20, Davenport, said his interest in speed clapping began when he was in elementary school, and he saw a YouTube video of Kent French, who was once known as the fastest clapper in the world. Let's check this guy out.
His his technique is on YouTube there. It's more like
Oh, that. Okay, I see.
that counts as clapping because the
I would not count that as clapping. Clapping is a full, you know, together and separation. You know, this isn't clapping. You know.
well, every time you exert energy onto something, some of that energy gets converted to sound, right? So the longer the distance, the more the clap is going to show up, right?
Yeah, but you don't see people in standing ovations
Yeah,
doing
exactly.
this, do you?
Yeah, no, that's pretty weird.
I mean, hell, like I even count this. You know, like if you're a proper British gentleman or lady, you know,
yeah, the parade clap, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if he knew what the sound of one hand clapping was. He'd be able to clap 2,280 times in 1 minute.
My microphone can't pick it up.
Yeah, it's very low.
Yeah. Anyway, well, that shall conclude the show. Let me bring up my script here. Once again, you can check the underbar in the description for any links you may be interested in, which includes everything but not limited to Omni Coalition. For your dose of different, odd, and otherwise unknown news, we stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 2, or actually, I think I'm just going to move it to 3 p.m. Pacific time. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, I was Alexander.
I'm MTM.
Yep. And in the live audience, we have the legendary Speedweed. Anyway, until you catch us on Monday, or if you enjoy history, you can check us out tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, as I said before. This Date in History, TDH, every day at 10 in the morning Pacific time. Whichever the case, until then, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until then, toodles!
Thank you for tuning in.